This is Austin from Team Vise. I am doing a deck profile over Gray's deck. And hello, Gray.
Hello. Alright.
What event did you play at?
Alright, this was the Texas Regionals in Arlington. I played Merlantian. Mermails, Waters, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Okay, what rank do you got placed?
I got 37. I was out of, I think, 380 people. About 360, 380 people.
Okay.
So went X3, only lost to one Monarch player and two Draco Pals.
Okay. Let's go on with the deck profile now.
So 3 Neptibus, it's the card that makes the deck playable again. You have to run 3. That's all there really is to say about it. Then 2 Infantry, 2 Marksmen. Was playing 3 and 3, dropped it to put in more Mermails. You don't really need 3 and 3, they can clog, and you have these for whenever you need them. Infantry hits face up, Marksman hits set, and they're also easy to side out on a lot of matchups. Like Cosmos, you don't ever really target anything face up, so you can just side it out pretty easy. 2 Dragoons, if it was at 3, you'd play it at 3. That's all the Atlanteans. Then Mermails, 2 Gooned, because sometimes you pitch it without being able to activate the effect, and you may have another in your hand or something, so you want to be able to always activate the effect. 1 Pike, 1 Turge. Pike is better if you're being made to go first. That way you can set up, you only have 2 targets in the main deck, which is just Gooned and Marksman, but it's still something, plus it's an easy activator. Turge is more for whenever you have to grind out late game, because Turge can grab any of your 3 or lowers, so if you need another Neptibus or you need a Goon back from grave, or maybe even an infantry, you can get it back. Then for the big Mermails, 1 lead, just it gets something out of your opponent's hand. You don't really need more than 1. You don't ever really want to draw it. It's better to discard Gooned and special it back. 2 Megalo, because it OTKs. You don't need 3. Like, it's searchable. There's very few times where you need 3. And then 2 Teus. Again, you don't need 3. You only have 4 targets in the deck to search with it, and even then you can only get 1 search a turn. It's mostly just for the activator, and it gets you your Gooned for free. And then that's all the Mermails. 1 Diva for text, 1 Diva. It's at 1. If it was at 3, you'd probably play it at 3. 1 Aqua Spirit for easy rank 4s, easy access to things like Dweller. And then 1 Mooling Glacier, because you can combo into it, and then your opponent, you rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand. That's all the regular monsters. For hand traps, 2 max E, 3 Veiler. Was 3 and 3, but you don't want to draw this against Monarchs. And that's really the only thing you don't want to draw it against. Veiler just hits everything right now. The only card that Veiler isn't as useful against is like Draco Pals, but even then, if you Veiler the Sorcerer, they have to stop their play there. That's all the monsters. There's 26, I think. Spells, 1 Mizuchi, mostly for the Megalo target, and it's an 800 boost, so it's easier to OTK. 1 Moray, every time I played it, I won. Or played it and needed it, I won. So it's just, it makes your dead hands with no activators live most of the time. So 1 Regeki, 1 Twin, and 1 for 1. Neptibus is a 1. I've also 1 for 1'd out Veilers to make Trishalas or something. These also both double as discard outlets for Abyss Gooned. Then 3 Instant Fusion. Might as well play it. It's instant Norden or Dweller. Or instant Dweller or Castell or whatever you need. 3 Chalice, effect negation that you can use on your turn. If your opponent Vanities or Majesties fiends you, and you don't have this or Regeki, you pretty much lose. Vanities is easier to get over. Majesties just stops you completely. And then 3 Upstart, because you can OTK through all 3.
Uh-huh.
Are they home?
Yeah, probably. Why only 1 Twister, by the way?
1 Twin Twister, you don't need more than that. You side in a second one for the second game, second or third game. You don't need any more.
And
Alright,
what also?
Here, stop the recording. So 2 Norden for the 3 instant fusions. Like, you don't really need it. It's a water. can make a lot of things with it. 1 Tatsu because making Trish out of your hand is stupid. Arclight because it's a judgment on legs, and it can also stop your opponent from Veiloring or Maxieing you. Chanbara, it's a double attacker and it's a 5. Nothung would have played Goyo if I had it, but it's a 6, that's all it's really for. And then of course the Trish. All the synchros. 1 Nightmare Shark because you can combo this off with Bahamut Shark and Megalo, because you go into Bahamut, the Nightmare, attach Marksman or Goon to it, detach, target your Megalo, it attacks directly. So sometimes dumb. Never got to make it though. 2 Dweller, made Dweller almost every single game. Sometimes I would make both, other times not. 1 Bahamut Shark because why not? It's a 2600 water and it summons out your Nightmare Shark. 1 Castel because Castel. One of this, I'm not even going to bother saying the name, but it's another 2600 water that can beat over Majesty's Fiend, and it also has a pretty strong effect. Whenever either player's monster declares an attack, you detach 1, and every one of your opponent's monsters loses 1,000 until the end of the turn. So, and then I only got to make this once, but the one time I did make it, I won. It was against Monarchs, so pretty good card. Oh, and then whenever it gets destroyed, you reborn any monster in your grave. 1 Gaios because you make a 3600 Gaios and sit on it, and your opponent can't really do a whole lot. And then 1 Big Eye because taking monsters. So on to side. 2 Lind because people are going to make you go first, game 2 almost every time. Never sided in the second, but it's nice to have. 2 Gameciel because it just gets around a lot. The Infinity Rafflesia isn't as popular anymore, but it's still possible. But also, if you end up playing against Super Quantals, this is an out to their Megazord. 2 Flying Sea, never got to side it in, but also because I never played anything besides Draco Pals and Monarchs, but if I had played against Burning Abyss or Phantom Knights, this would have been really helpful. Spells, 1 Cetus, 1 Kraken for extra targets. They both have their own scenarios where they're good in. 2 System Down, never got to side them in because I never saw Cosmo, but wouldn't take them out. Then a 2nd Twin for Draco Pals and Monarchs. Then 1 Sphere for going first, or to have whenever you go first. 1 Scolding, the one time I saw this, it won me the game. Sided it in 5 or 6 times out of the 9 rounds. 1 Warning, I saw it twice, but lost one of the games because Monarchs. And then 1 Vanities, never sided it in, probably taking it out. So, alright, so now you ask me what to do, or how did I do, whatever.
How do you do against most of your matchups? Were they close or not?
Most of them were, but rounds 9 and 4 were bad. Round 4, that was also Draco Pals. Round 4, I never saw any activators, game 1 or 2, so it just couldn't win either of those against Draco Pals. And then round 9 was Ariadne Draco Pals, and they went first, set up a 2 Solemn Strikes and a Warning, and then had a Dweller on board, because he had seen me playing Mermails earlier, so he's just like, I'll just make a Dweller. So no way to win that game. Game 2, I didn't see any activators, or any of my cards that I sided in to go first, and he did basically the exact same thing. When I lost to Monarchs in round 6, it was more just a close game, and he just had more resources than I did. But besides that, the only cards that I would have liked to have, because I didn't expect to see that many Monarchs, I would have rather had 2 Fog King instead of Lind and Emptiness. Okay. But that's about the only thing I'd change.
Okay. that should be it.
Yep.
Yep. You have any future builds you're gonna try out or anything else?
The only thing I'm really going to change is taking 1 Linden of Vanities out for 2 Fog King. Nothing else really needs to change in main deck, but then of course I have the sexy token too.
Okay. Okay, that's Gray's deck profile for the regionals in Arlington, and glorious day then. Okay.